Okay, so over Christmas I got this cool GoPro Hero used as one of my Christmas gifts. I don't have it hooked up to a TV, so I'm guessing I have all the angles right. We'll see how it goes. My name's Jim Hines, and I've been promoting, or I've written some reviews about the new Mercury CA. Some of you guys have seen on the groups. I'm a big proponent of it. I've been using it for a week or so, maybe a little more now, and I'm completely convinced it's the latest and greatest CA, and it's the one I'm going to be using from here on out. So I thought I'd do a quick video on how I finish a pen with it. I do it like I usually do most CAs. It may differ from some of the stuff that you guys do. This is what works for me, and you know. My methods have kind of evolved over time, like most of ours do. So hopefully you'll get something out of it. If you do, great. If not, well, you got to see my smiling face. Okay, so I'm all set up here. Here's what I've got. I've got the new Mercury Thin Viscosity CA. I've got the new Mercury Medium Viscosity CA. And I've got their pump action accelerator, which I'm told is hexane and is less reactive. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an expert on this stuff. Bottom line is it doesn't react as fast, doesn't generate as much heat, so you're less prone to get that glass cracking effect that you guys report. I've never had the shattered glass effect on any of my blanks before. I've had them peel, I've sanded through finishes, I've had them chip, I've never had the shattered glass. So I am also, in my review, I'm not a fan of pump action accelerator. I am told, though, that Mercury's coming out with an aerosol can. I'm anxiously awaiting that because this stuff works really well. If I can get it in the aerosol, I think I'd be a much happier guy. Also for finishing, I've got a small piece of Abernet 400. I use that to level the finish. Abernet, the use of this goes all the way back to Stickfast when they started putting together their finishing kits. Using the 400 Abernet in between is genius. I used to sand with regular sandpaper to level the coat, and CA, as you guys know, will clog up regular sandpaper like no tomorrow. This is phenomenal. I wish they had this years ago when I was doing this. And I've got my micro mesh pads. And finally, my magic polish. My Meguiar's plastics. Captain Eddie, thank you. He's the one that turned me on to using this. I, much like the rest of you, used to use this junk, and I use that term loosely. I don't even think it qualifies as junk. But by comparison to the plastics, well, there is none. Plastics, though, let me tell you, it's no novice, so it's not that good. And of course, what would I be without paper towel? I generally use whatever I can get my hands on, or whatever does not make, whatever paper does not smoke with the CA I happen to use. At present, this is Viva, and it works fairly well. Recently, though, I think somebody changed the formula of their paper towels because Stickfast and Starbond were making all my paper towels smoke almost immediately. The Mercury CA doesn't do it as easily. So we're going to get started. I turn my lathe down to the slowest speed for me on the Rikon here is somewhere around 260, somewhere between 250 and 270 really. Depending how tight I tighten up everything here. So we're running about 260. My first few coats of thin, I do what I call a flood coat. Let me put on my old man glasses. And that, I try and flood it, and at least the first coat, I'll let it dry without accelerator, or at least soak in really, really well. For me, I tell myself that helps stabilize the wood. Helps keep it strong. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I do. So I just kind of run down like that, and then I'll let that sit for a minute. I really hope you can all see this. This is my third attempt at doing a video, by the way. So we'll let that roll in a little bit, and I'll hit it with a pump. And then once that first coat's done, we're going to do 4 more. I do a total of 5 thin coats. And these should go in rapid succession here. I also really like the tip on this. If you wipe it off in between uses, I tend not to see all the dried Mercury CA build up inside the cap. I think they did a good job with that. Alright, this is the last coat of thin. Alright, and always wipe it off before I put the cap back on. Okay, and now we're going to go to the medium. And with the medium, I do anywhere from 5 to 7 coats. I kind of go by feel and see how it's looking as the film builds. Just separate my paper towel squares here. I don't know if you can see me off camera or not. 3, 4, I'll set out 6. By the way, this is just a Sierra tube that is covered in bloodwood at the moment, one of my absolute favorite woods. Okay, so little pea size to it, and then off we go, nice and slow and steady. That'll avoid getting swirl marks on there. And then on the medium, for whatever reason, I go one way, one direction, the other way, the other direction. I don't know why I do that with the medium only, but I do. Third coat. Fourth coat. Fifth coat. And yes, I use those non-stick Delrin bushings. I don't always use them, but lately I've been sticking pen tubes to bushings, and it's not really been pleasant. And I tried them, liked them, so now I use them whenever possible, or when I think about it. I forget more often than not, believe it or not, to put them on. Alright, last coat. This is number 6. And I'm not going to go in reverse on this one. I'm still going to go from left to right. Okay. I'll wipe the tube off. And yes, that last coat I'm letting dry a little bit before I hit it with the accelerator. That's sort of on purpose by design. And the last one I'll do 3 just so it'll dry up nice and hard, nice and fast. And let's see what we got. Actually, it's a pretty smooth, even layer. Yeah, normally if I use Starbond or Stick Fast, I'll get some real undulation, some real variation in finish and thickness. This stuff goes on nice and even. Let's see if this is going to work. I'll bring you over here a little bit. Let's see if we'll let it focus. But it's just a really nice and even kind of finish. Put you back. Gotta line up, make sure you're staring at the pen. Okay. So now I'm going to turn the speed up a little bit. We're going to level the finish. I'm going to go somewhere around 800. So it's 805. And this is just 400. And give it a nice light sanding. And the idea here is to get all the shiny stuff off. And what that means is, if all the shiny stuff is off, you've got a nice leveled finish. And here, if you do it this way, I can tell you already, right here at the tip and right here, I've got some shiny spots. So take that down a little bit there and there. And we'll turn it off, take a look. And for the most part, there's a few. We'll give it one more pass. You can very easily sand through the finish here, guys. If you do, what I do is I just then go back and apply another couple coats of medium, and you're usually home free. Very rarely do I have to sand off the entire finish and begin again. Okay, so right there, I'm fairly happy with that. You see a couple shiny spots that go along with the dark grain pattern. That's where the CA filled up some empty void grain. I did not use a sand sealer on this pen, sanding sealer on this pen. Some of my higher end open woods, if I do any burls, I will take Deft lacquer-based sanding sealer, thinned 3:1. And I will go over that 3 times with 10-15 minutes in between. That will give a nice base set. Something like Bloodwood, it's not bad to begin with. Alright, so we're going to start with the first micro mesh pad. What you'll find, I think, is I do far less sanding with the micro mesh than most people do. Again, there's no need to over sand it. At this point, we're polishing and just getting scratches up. Constantly move the micro mesh pad. If you leave it in one spot too long, it will get hot, it will heat up, and that color and rough, I don't know, sandpaper, abrasive, whatever, will come off and stick to your pen tube. And then you really do have to go back, strip it all off, and start over. So I just kind of go till I feel it smooth through the pad. Again, That looks absolutely amazing. We'll try the close-up thing again. I apologize if it doesn't work so much, but if you just look at that. Bloodwood has a natural chatoyance to it, and this CA certainly helps bring it out. More so than any other CA, it seems to highlight grain pattern, which I really like. So we're going to do my Maguires now. For this, I tend to use the blue shop towels. I don't know why I do. I have no reason for it. It's just how I've done it in the past. I'll switch gears on the lathe here, because I apply it relatively fast on the high-speed pulley. And yes, you jet guys, I know you have one pulley that does it all. I paid a lot less. That didn't take long. I'm just teasing. I'm flipping start of war. So we're going to go about, oops, I'm knocking my pads over here. So we're running about 1225. Give the Maguires a good shake. And again, good sized dollop on here. I tend to go heavy on this. Get it coated real nice. Work it back and forth a little bit. Now I turn it up 2200, 2300. Found the other pad. So 2375, 2400, and we're going to give it a good buffing. Now, don't use the same spot of paper towel. You want to use some pressure to get the buff going, but if you use the same spot and don't move it around, trust me, the paper towel will melt into the finish. Don't ask me how I know. And once that happens, you have no choice but to go all the way back down. Okay. Guess what? We're done. So we're going to take it off. Sometimes they will get stuck inside the tube a little bit. There we go. And you can see why I went over a little bit on that. So what I do to every tube, I do a CA finish on. Let me find my sandpaper real quick. 180, you can use 150, you can use 220, whatever you happen to have around. If I'm doing a lot of assembly or a lot of pens, I'll do this on my arbor press. But I take a flat surface, like the waves of your bed. Tilt this down a little bit. Okay. Take a flat surface like the waves of your bed, put it up vertically, and I square off the ends this way. And I bring it all the way down till I can see the brass and the wood without any CA on it. Kind of like that. I don't know if you can see that or not. Now we're going to do this end. And we're going to go nice and easy until we have braided down the overhang of CA. And it doesn't take long at all. You don't want to snap that off. You run the risk of having it snapped off all the way up the tube. You just want to be nice and easy with it. Hold it by sight vertically as much as you can. And we want to do the same thing. We want to bring it down to the brass. We have more to go. just a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but we'll see right here. There's still a little bit of CA that's there. You want to get that down. And we're there. You can also check it by just sitting on the bed. It shouldn't rock. It should be nice and stable. Okay, I'm going to go put this together, and I'll be back. We'll show you the finished pen. Alright, guys. So at least with plugwood, I generally like to assemble with the clip running down the quarter sawn section. And I don't know if you can see this, but this gives such a depth to the wood and the grain. There's absolutely no surface scratches. It's a crystal clear finish. And most of all, it was really easy to do. A few simple steps and away you go. So, at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it useful. I'm Jim Hines. Let's see if I can take this out. I'm Jim Hines, and happy turning.